Someone needs to tell me. I need to be reminded to actually turn my mic on half the time. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me make sure y'all can hear. We're gonna do that. And here's mine. Okay. Anyway, long story short, we saw Bayside on Wednesday after staying with my parents for a night on Tuesday. Got to see my dog. It's weird because I've now realized that I really am much more of a cat person, because I was loving on my dog and I'm like, oh, you're so sweet, Cooper. And it was kind of weird because it was like, okay, this is such a good puppy. Also, wait a minute, this feels weird. Petting a dog is so weird compared to petting a cat. But we saw Bayside. We got to see him live. It was awesome. My husband had a great time. We got to see 2 of their songs on acoustic, actually, which was really cool because they didn't do any acoustic last time we saw them at House of Blues. And my husband and I, we sat up in the balcony because it was more comfortable. We actually had seats. There was crazy stuff going on downstairs, though. Like, we were glad we weren't in the mosh because, oh my gosh, there was even ambulances outside. Like, people got hurt, but we were safe. We were fine. Yeah. So that's what we've been. And then yesterday we were at a hotel, stayed until like 4, and then we drove home. And now I'm home. Now I'm back in black. I was gonna try to stream last night, but I started my new depression anxiety meds, and they make you really drowsy. So I was like, I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna go to sleep, and I did, and it was great. Here we go. It's starting soon. Alright, well, the timer's done, but nothing's happening yet. Oh, sometimes you have to refresh, so let's do that. Oh. I'm subscribed on my normal account, on my personal account. This is my non-personal account, so. Guess not. Alright, we're 2 minutes in, and or a minute in, and nothing's happened yet, so. I feel like the sound is not loud enough. Oh, here we go. Maybe something I have to do on my settings. No. Hopefully that'll help. I'm not saying anything, though.
From the very first days of this project, the objective the team rallied around was to surpass player expectations for freeing the babies. Now, our vision to accomplish that was to add infants as an entirely new age, resulting in a much more natural progression through Sims' early stages of life.
When you add a new life stage to The Sims, there are a lot of challenges. We had to figure out how to display the infant, since they're too young to stand on their own. We tried a lot of ideas. Some worked great, some didn't work so great, and a few were just plain creepy.
Oh.
We created a lot of new technologies. So now in the game, while holding an infant, you are able to sit down while still holding them. You can also talk to them, nurse them. You can even give your infants to another Sim.
Since infants are just starting to develop their motor skills and figure out how to move their limbs and weight around, you'll see they tend to flop around with over-exaggerated, uncoordinated movement. A great example of this is how they transition from sitting to laying on their back.
I got to animate the crawl up and down of the step. I really wanted the player to kind of see the thought process of their infant here, since they move with such a singular focus. So they'll take a moment to notice the step, and then they start to break it down one tiny movement at a time till they've overcome this obstacle and can continue on their way. Definitely challenging, but also super cute.
When creating the voice for the infant Sim, we had the unique challenge of finding a voice that was realistic, but one that was still cute when making distressing vocalizations, like crying or whining. The cute checkbox was definitely checked.
The infant has to be able to be fully customizable from head to toe. We added new various infant clothing, shoes, hair, hats, accessory, glasses, infant teeth, and birthmarks.
One area that we leaned into was adding more ways to socialize and play between children, toddlers, infants, newborns, and yes, of course, even cats and dogs. We want all of our Sims to share in the fun when these adorable infants arrive in-game.
Be sure to check out all those fun activities you can do with your infants and create your own hilarious and adorable moments.
Greetings, Simmers! Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Simguru Frost, and before we get started today, I just wanted to share a little bit about our live stream, as it will be slightly different from our previous pack live streams. So as you can see on screen, we'll be driving today's live stream with two segments. The first segment will cover the base game Infants Update with hosts Simguru Graham and Simguru Morgan. Followed by that, we'll have our second segment of today's stream, which will cover the next expansion pack, The Sims 4 Growing Together, with hosts Grimsuru Doi and Simguru Morgan. And so with that, I'm going to kick it off to Simguru Graham and Simguru Morgan to get us started.
All right, thank you, Frost, for that nice welcome. And a big welcome to all of our Sims fans tuning in today. Now, if you haven't met me previously, I am Simguru Graham. I'm our lead producer on Infants, and joined in the studio today by Simguru Morgan.
Hi, I'm a producer on Infants and also Growing Together.
Yeah,
Your voices are so
for
quiet.
the first part of our stream today, it's going to be a two-part stream, like Frost mentioned. We are diving into all of the great stuff that is coming your update for Infants, which of course is a brand new life stage coming to The Sims 4 on March 14th. So we've got some special guests that are going to be joining us today as well. We'll have them calling in throughout the broadcast, but we'll be speaking with Simguru Lakshmi, our lead designer on Infants. We'll also be chatting with Steph, one of our infant concept artists. And finally, we'll be also chatting with Simguru Nova, another member of the Infants and Growing Together production team. So with that said, we've got about little over 2 hours of live streaming content for you today. Settle in, get in a comfy chair, grab a good drink, and let's get right into it.
So today we're going to start off in the Pancake household with Bob. He's very excited to see you all.
He is very excited. That is the happiest I've ever seen Bob. When we were loading in today, I was like, wow, Eliza sure looks cheerful today, and whew, Bob's even happier. So I think we're set up for a fun stream today.
So you might notice there doesn't appear to be an infant in this household. There's a lot of infant stuff around though.
Yeah, and you are going to get a lot of new objects coming with this update as well. So it's not just the
Is
infants,
it just me, or does that crib
but a lot of cool
or that
content that you can
playpen
use
look
to build and decorate a
like
nursery as well.
CC?
So
Look at
I've
that
decorated the house
nursery!
with it, but we also have it laid out for everyone
Isn't
to really look at everything.
Mhm.
So let's just take a look at everything that's
Oh my
coming for
gosh.
free.
Yeah, this is floor 1 of 2.
Floor 1 of 2.
Yeah,
Nice.
lots of little adorable things, right? I'm really excited about the bassinet. It's actually the first bassinet, I'm sure many of you will know, that we've added to base game since it launched way back when. So that'll be a really great
Those look
addition.
really
But look
nice,
at all the cute
actually.
stuff coming.
Little llamas. I guess they're not little, are they?
No, those are quite big llamas.
Big llamas. These are bookshelves, so you can use those. And I'm gonna go into build mode really quick to show off this one. These actually all have variants as well. I just haven't placed out all of their variants. This one in particular, I like the little animals on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
so cute.
But yeah, these all also have variants here. Over here, we actually have 3 new toys that come with unique audio for them. So I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're like sensory development toys. We'll see an infant play with them a little bit later.
And then before we head on up to the next floor, I wanted to point out how cool I think these rugs are. The
Yeah.
dinosaur one's my favorite.
All those adorable patterns.
And these are also my new favorite rug, I think. As you can probably see over here, because I've decorated literally everywhere with them. Here, yeah.
Yeah, perfectly
Very
handy.
tiny.
Yeah, I
rug.
put them everywhere. Anything else you want to look at on this floor?
Well, what's out back there, Morgan?
Oh, yeah. Forget about that.
Yeah.
So
Baby
these
gates.
are our new playpens here. So it's a fence. You can use it as a fence and however you'd like. There's a lot of different color options. And I think we're gonna look at it during the next part of the stream, but you can also childproof these.
Yeah, so they've got a new baby proofing option, which is a type of lock that'll keep your infants and toddlers from going through.
Oh, that's amazing.
But essentially, you know, you could set that on any door, on any gate in the game. We just wanted to give you one that looked perfect for our new infants.
Trying to find an actual door here.
Yeah, apply baby proofing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
let's
there's
hop,
some fun
That's
gameplay
amazing.
with that too.
let's hop up to floor number 2.
Cribs.
Because boy, do we have a lot of cribs for you coming in this update.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
a lot of these might seem somewhat familiar because they match the other furniture pieces we have for children and toddlers
Thank goodness.
and like their categories. So they'll match that and you can make a matching nursery with all those furniture pieces. But we also have some new ones that are kind of different here.
Yeah, I love that the cribs have a little bit of different functionality depending on what you want to use them for. So, like the one closest to us has actually been converted into a toddler bed. It's one of the upgrades that Sims can perform on some of our cribs
Oh my gosh.
so that the furniture ages along with your Sim as they grow up in your household.
I love that.
On the far end of the room, though, we've got our travel crib, and I really like this one as well. You can actually live drag it around, place it in a Sims inventory, bring it with you to other locations.
That's great.
So
for
you
Rex
always have a
Versus
place for
Challenge.
your infant to grab a little rest on the go.
Yeah. And then we'll also look at some other upgrades in a little bit later for these.
Yeah, but for right now, boy, it's going to be hard to do a live stream today, Morgan, if we don't have an infant in our family.
Yeah, that's too bad that we don't. That's actually for a reason though. We wanted to show off something new that we're adding also for base game called Science Baby. So it's a social interaction, but you can also go to your phone and you can choose to have a science baby with somebody, either by yourself or with another Sim.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to go and click on this. And you might notice that options are appearing here for Sims that you also don't have a romantic relationship with, which is really cool because it lets you kind of tell whatever story you'd like here, whether it be a surrogacy story or something. There's a lot of different stories you could tell with this.
Yeah, I know like the first time I heard Science Baby, I was like, oh, what's that? But it's really this broad term that captures a lot of new possibilities for stories that you can tell. So whether it's a same-sex relationship, whether it's something platonic, whether it's a surrogacy, like you mentioned. There's all these types of stories that you just weren't able to tell in The Sims 4 previously, and now all of that's possible, which is such a great addition when you think about it.
So for this live stream, Eliza doesn't really want to have a baby with Bob. She's going to have one with her friend Bella. They do have to be some degree of friends, but they are. So Bella agreed. And Eliza's going to go off now and have a science baby. We say yes. And whenever they have a science baby, they won't go through. I think it'll be sort of an instant thing because it's science.
Yeah, the magic of science.
Interesting.
So fast forward a moment here. And I've actually had twins before this way as well.
Oh, we'll see if we get lucky today.
It's a girl. We'll name her Amelia Pancakes. And she's up here in the new bassinet.
There she is, cute little Amelia, and she's actually looking a little bit different. I think many of you tuning in today likely know our newborns in The Sims 4 have been a bit limited in terms of their appearance in the past. In fact, we only had 3 natural skin tones they could select from. But with the update that's coming, our newborns now have the same range of skin tone possibilities as all of our other Sims in game. So they're a much more natural addition to your family right from the get-go. And we made some other improvements as well. They now have their correct genetic eye color. We've changed a bit about their overall appearance and the way that they move, just to skew them a little bit younger. They really do represent those first few days of coming from home from the hospital now. But to talk a little bit more about improvements we made to our newborns, because it's not just aesthetic, why don't I invite Sim Guru Lakshmi to join in and tell us a little bit more about the changes to them.
Hi, yeah. We did quite a few different things to help our newborns fit into the game a little better. The first thing we did was we smoothed out caring for newborns. So now Sims can continue holding them and seamlessly transition between interactions. And also a caregiver will automatically respond when they are crying. If you have a weather, we've added compatibility so that newborns will react to being outside in storms or extreme temperatures. They'll cry and let you know they're unhappy about that. The show off to interaction is a little easier to complete as well, and it now allows you to show a toddler their new sibling. Children and toddlers actually got a new interaction called entertain, which allows them to be silly and spend a bit of quality time with the new family edition. And then one more tweak we made was how long it takes a newborn to automatically age up into an infant. Since this stage is now just covering the very beginning of life, we shortened that time a little bit, but the other ages have been extended to make sure your Sims can see their little ones grow up and maybe even have children of their own.
Yeah, super cute. But as adorable as this newborn is, we really need an infant in this household in Oregon.
Yes, we do. Okay, so let's go ahead and go here to age them up early.
Okay, that's gonna be a baby care now.
I think she was going to show off the infant or the newborn.
Oh.
Okay, here we go.
And I love that Sims that are nearby will take pictures of it now.
That's
they recognize the
cute.
importance of those moments.
So we could randomize a trait. There are actually traits for infants.
Yeah, 6 of them.
6 of them. And they range from sort of a sunny, happy, just generally easier infant to intense, where they have big emotions and they're going to be a lot more of a challenge to play with.
10 sounds like a handful for our stream today. Maybe we go back over to Sunny Morgan.
No. We're going to go with cautious today. These Sims appreciate the familiar, but are slow to warm up to new experience, location, and Sims, because I think we're going to be able to show something cool specifically with that one during the live stream.
Yeah, let's do it.
We don't want to make it too easy.
Now, of course, you get to not only select these traits when your Sim ages up into an infant, but infants can actually be fully customized and created in Create a Sim as well. So why don't we actually head into that mode and we'll see everything that you can do in there.
Okay.
So cute.
So this is pretty exciting because this is the youngest age Sim we've ever been able to create in Create a Sim. And of course, they're fully customizable with everything you'd expect, whether that's hairstyles, accessories, clothing, those personality traits that we just saw. And as Morgan clicks through some of our different clothing options right now, why don't I invite Steph onto the stream, our infant concept art. Tell us a little bit more about the clothing coming for infants.
Hi, everybody. We wanted to give players really cute basics that they could mix and match. We have a bunch of new onesies, leggings and tops. We have new full bodies that are super cute. Like, I think we have like overalls. Yeah, the overalls are really cute, and like that overall dress. We also have some seasonal stuff. We have a winter suit, like it keeps your baby warm. We also have a really cute bear one. I think that's also my favorite. It's like that really fuzzy Sherpa material, super cute. And then also, like, if you know it's hot weather and you don't want to have much clothes on your baby, we also have cute baby diapers. And then
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
yeah, we have a bunch of those patterns.
Aww.
And
I love the
then
way they rotate to show it.
yeah, and for more storytelling options, we also have some baby accessories. We did some really cute baby glasses.
Maybe I'll do it on
they're
a
so
different app
cute.
so that we can see it better.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we also added baby helmets.
And this was something brand new to me. I'm not a parent myself, but I love, not only did we get it in there, but just some really cute versions of it, like the aviator goggles, my absolute favorite.
Yeah, the aviator one is also my favorite.
Okay.
Did you want to show off some hair now?
Yeah, definitely. Let's look at some of the new hairs. I'll just remove
so
any of the
for
filters.
the baby hairs, we wanted to give players lots of options. So we have some that are like, some babies have lots of hair, and then some babies don't have as much hair, and we just wanted to give the players those kinds of options. I think I think it's the second one from the bottom right to the left of, or right to the, that one. That one we're calling like the wispy one because that was like one of the harder ones for us to achieve because we're truly trying to get like a new painting style. So hopefully that comes off really well as a newborn hair for you guys.
Super cute.
Yeah.
And of course, oh, go ahead, Steph.
Oh, you can go ahead.
Well, was there more that you were going to want to share? Because I was going to move over to some of our cool skin detail options.
Oh yeah, I just wanted, that's what I was going to ask, if you wanted to go ahead and talk about stork bites.
Yeah, for sure. So let's bring Simguru Nova on to talk a little bit about our new skin details and stork bites for infants and some for our other ages as well.
Sure. Hello. So yeah, you can apply stork bites, which are birthmarks specifically for infants in CAS. And as they age up, they will fade away, similar to how stork bites work for infants in real life. But you can make use of the new skin details we're offering in later ages as well. Coming to base game, we've added birthmarks across the ages in CAS, each with a set of swatches to kind of match different skin tones and ensure that they show up visibly and look natural. And we've also, as you've seen in the cast preview, maybe, added a bunch of different additional skin details like stretch marks and a C-section scar to kind of help you create more realistic Sims as they move through different stages in their life and represent, the changes that a Sim's body might go through as they age and raise a family and things like that.
Yeah, I feel like the Sims feel a lot more real now with all of those details on them, so certainly been enjoying seeing that in game.
Yeah, and of course, variants across the board for each of those skin details, so that on that wide range of skin tones as well.
I think there's one more thing before we hop out of CAS we were wanting to show off today, and that is that under the U-Choice settings, we actually also added in a new option for can this Sim produce milk.
Oh,
so that should be able to help create a wider variety of Sims.
Yeah, additional storytelling options, especially around pregnancy and children.
Okay, so let's hop into some infants gameplay and see
Yeah.
them in game.
Super cute. Let's go.
See the babies.
Little, what was her name? Amelia?
Yeah, little Amelia pancakes.
Amelia. All right, well, let's start with a bath. Let's just show off some of these cute new things you're going to be doing with your infants.
Mhm.
Maybe, let's give her a bubble bath. It's pretty cute.
Now, of course, this is just one of the many different options in there that you're going to have for taking care of your infant. And infants have all of the needs that you've come to expect from a sim. So we're taking care of their hygiene here, but different options for sleep, for hunger, for attention. And we'll see all of those as we go through and play a little today. But you'll see all the cute little interactions that Eliza does with her infant. She's testing the temperature of the water, putting some little bubbles on Amelia's head, playing with the rubber ducky. Just perfectly adorable stuff.
She seems like a pretty good mom. I think there's something that we did with that where, with attachment. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that, Lakshmi?
Yeah, sure. Both our newborns and infants are sort of trying to gauge if the world is a place where they are safe. If they're left crying or with low needs, they'll be feeling neglected. But when the Sims are caring for them and spending time with them, then they form this good sense of attachment. To help understand how this attachment is developing, there are moodlets that will let you know how cared for your infant is feeling. You might see one on her now. I'm not sure, since she just got a little love on the infant. Yeah. So she got some care, and so she's feeling well cared for. So when a couple of examples are when an infant's got a good level attachment, then they won't feel neglected when they're crying because they trust that someone will come and help them. But if that care hasn't arrived in the past, then their attachment would be low, and so they'll feel extra sad when their cries are going unanswered. Also, as we just saw, when the sim is caring for or showing affection to an infant, there are moodlets that help you gauge sort of how secure the infant is feeling. Then if you build attachment as a newborn and an infant, we have 3 reward traits that can be earned when the sim ages up. There's happy infant for a sim that formed a good bond and therefore trusts that sims have good intentions. And then top notch if they were very well cared for, which also means they trust their caregivers specifically. And then if you intentionally push to the other end, there's also an unhappy infant, which will make them basically more skeptical of Sims. They have a hard time trusting the intentions of those Sims.
I love that it tells that story of care and attachment from early in life, and then carries through the rest of a Sim's life and helps form that strong foundation for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Morgan, I saw you clicking on the high chair a second ago, and I bet a lot of people in our chat were just groaning. Oh no, not the high chair, anything but the high chair. We all know about the high chair. Our longtime veterans, a lot of them will know. It's one of those tricky objects.
It's so hard.
It was always a little difficult to play with your toddlers, but fear not, we've made a number of quality of life improvements to the high chair.
Thank
so
goodness.
Some of those issues you experienced in the past where a toddler would just constantly want to get in and out of the high chair and have trouble feeding them in it, that should be much better now. And it's not just for our toddlers. Of course, all those improvements are there for infants as well, so that you get to really enjoy that object and some of the new gameplay that we've added around it. What are you trying right now, Morgan?
We're trying mashed peas right now. So infants always, they try their new food. Can't because they're currently trying it, but there's a selection of different baby foods you can try with your infants. And they'll either be unsure, they'll like it, they'll love it, or they'll dislike it, and they react accordingly, and it's really cute to watch them and see as they figure out what they like and they don't. You might notice that she was unsure about mashed peas. That's one of those ways that Amelia's trait here, that she's cautious, is going to come into play, because she's going to be less certain if she likes food more often than other infants are.
Interesting.
So just, there's a lot of little things like that within those traits packed into how they behave differently. That's cute.
And I'll give another tip to the non-parents out there, I guess. Another thing I learned while working on this update is that exploring foods in the high chair, that's really about like establishing those moments of care and
My cat is
attention
up in the windows
with
and picking on it.
parents. It's about trying new things and exploring the world around them, and less about satisfying hunger. So just before that, you were bottle feeding Amelia here, and we added a nice new option around that as well, because either bottle feeding or breastfeeding, that's the best way to go about satisfying an infant's hunger. Now, previously you had to select that each time, whichever option it was you preferred. But now you can designate the preference for your infant, and Sims will automatically do that when they're playing autonomously, or when you user direct them to help feed an infant. Now here, little Amelia, she's found her way over to the toys in the living room. And of course, she's playing with some of the building blocks, but I see some of her new sensory toys behind her as well.
Yeah. Go play with one of those while we wait for her brother to come down here.
And what's Iggy coming over to try doing?
He was going to try to entertain her.
Maybe we could play a little peekaboo with Amelia. I think that's my favorite new interaction. They're super cute when they do it. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Oh, I think Amelia's tired.
He got bored because she was playing other games. She was ignoring him.
Hey, come here, baby girl.
Oh, she will like that. Well, she is really tired. It is time for her to have a nap.
Okay, well maybe we give her a rest.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take her on upstairs to her crib. And put her to bed here.
Now this crib looks a little bit different than the ones that we saw earlier when we were looking at all the cribs. You've added in to this one, haven't you, Morgan?
Yep. It has been upgraded to have a little oh no, I always want to call them carousels. They're not carousels.
Yeah, mobiles.
Yeah. Little mobile that and there's two options. There's I think a space one and then this bird one, which is my favorite. So
cute.
Oh, she might be wanting to. Oh, she's crying. We waited a little too long to put her to bed and now she's grumpy.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on upstairs. And the reason why we're using the one with the carousel, we have the one downstairs that's portable, but you have to soothe them to sleep sometimes to help them go to sleep, especially if they're like a wiggly infant or something.
Yep.
So you soothe them, you can kiss them to get them to go to sleep a little better. But if you have this, you can actually just play a lullaby, and that's going to help them go to sleep a little bit easier.
So soothing.
Yep. And she fell right asleep.
I might need a little nap myself, Morgan. It might be time for me to get ready to bounce out of this stream.
Yeah. I think we have a little with the
Yeah, so before I go, I think, of course, we're looking at just our base game update today, and we're only playing with base game.
Okay.
But we've got a whole wealth of packs out there that I'm sure many of you have. And so we added a lot of content for infants across some of those packs as well. So when I think about expansion packs, like, of course, with cats and dogs, your infants are going to be able to pet the dog. That's always the most important question to the internet, right? Or if you have a game pack, like, say, Parenthood, that's something that should really naturally integrate with an experience with infants, and it absolutely will. So as you're developing your parenting skill, you're going to find new ways to provide better care for your infants. And even with some of our stuff packs, like Nifty Knitting, for example, there's a bunch of onesies that you can knit for your infants. So definitely, try it out with some of the different packs out there and see what you can discover. I think they're really nice part of the overall Sims 4 experience. Cool.
Well, thanks for joining today.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really happy to give this detailed look at Vince. Now, of course, this is coming to all players, all platforms on March 14th. So excited for you to get your hands on it. And we're going to take a really short break. Don't go anywhere, because as fun as this was, you're about to see all of the great content coming with The Sims 4 Growing Together, our newest expansion
There we go.
I myself am going to say goodbye for today. Morgan is going to stay here with you. But I'm going to tag in Grimsy Rudoy, our lead designer on Growing Together, to show off all the great content that's coming. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a minute.
Enjoy the trailer.
Goodness, this trailer is loud. Oh. Baby showers! Ew! I love the inclusivity. Who else plans on getting it as soon as it comes out? I do.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back.
I'm very excited to be here. I don't know if I just want to be clear. This is not normally what I dress like to come into work. I do not develop the Sims 4 in this all the time. But
I do.
It's a special. Yes, Morgan does. But it's a special occasion, so we thought we get dressed up a little bit.
He's a sloth.
I'm a sloth.
You were unsure.
And we're here to talk about The Sims 4 Growing Together.
As was announced earlier, this is Grimsy Rudoy.
Oh yes, hello. Sim Guru Morgan still with us. And if you hear Morgan saying Scott, that's also me. My name is Scott.
Oh yeah.
Online, if you follow me on Twitter, I go by Grimsy Rudoy for reasons that we're not going to get into here. But yeah, I was the lead designer on Sims 4 Growing Together, our expansion pack that's coming out on March 16th, and I'm very, very excited to be able to show you a lot of the stuff that's going to be in it today.
Well, I'm going to poke through some outfits. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, like, a brief overview of your pack?
I would love to do that. Yes. So with The Sims 4 Growing Together, what we wanted to do was we wanted to give you, the player, the opportunity to really celebrate the kind of full lifetimes and memorable milestones of every Sim family, all the different kinds of families we know you're making, you're playing with, and explore the unique ways in which they may interact with each other. And I'm gonna step back a little bit. I'm gonna talk a little bit about kind of our design pillars, our design goals for this pack. We're gonna see examples of them in the stream today, but I'm gonna talk about kind of what we were trying to hit with Growing Together. And the first one, we started off with a core of kind of making sure that family matters, right? That when you are interacting with family members, that it feels different than when you are interacting with a random Sim walking down the sidewalk. So whether that is your close family, whether that is extended family, whether you have family kind of across multiple households, right, living in different lots, all those different makeups and of family, that it feels special and meaningful to be interacting between family members. And then kind of going out beyond that, the next thing we looked at was really deepening and making more meaningful all of our relationships across the game. Obviously, our family relationships had to feel different, had to feel special. But when we were looking at that, and we're going to talk about some of these features that I'm really excited about for Growing Together that do this, we wanted to make all of our relationships deeper and make them more meaningful, so that when you have two Sims talking to each other, conversing, having these social interactions, that they really do feel like they are two individual Sims with unique kind of social preferences and compatibility, and making it so that it doesn't feel like any two Sims conversing at any time are like any other two Sims. That those conversations, those relationships are different and unique. And then once we did that, the thing that I really enjoy is kind of like the icing on the cake for Growing Together is we really wanted to provide a sense of the drama of life that we were excited about when we looked at the lifetimes of our Sims and how to make them interesting throughout. And here we kind of did it in two ways. We made features where players are able
like how like oversized the
to
overalls
really
actually are.
start off their Sims in a dramatic fashion, give them kind of like interesting ways to relate to each other, but also be able to trigger potentially moments in their story that are more dramatic. But we also had
Love the
the
cardigans. I'm seeing
we have
two
some
cardigans.
features in Growing Together that I think are really fun, that really I think of as sort of like story prompts for your Sims that give them an opportunity to maybe
That's not a cardigan.
take a
I
little
love the
detour on the
cardigan.
story that you had in mind for them. And gives you as the player still control to kind of say yes or no to that story
That's also
prompt,
cute.
but might take you in a direction that kind of throws a little bit of extra drama in their life, that I think is really fun and makes it so that their lifetimes feel full and meaningful. So yeah, I mean, thank you for indulging me. That was a little bit kind of like designy. We didn't get to see any of that yet, but we're gonna see examples of all of that, I think. And that was really what we wanted to do with Growing Together. And I would like to think that we succeeded. But we can look at some of their outfits now first, and then I'll be really excited once we get into live mode to kind of tie back to a lot of those things that I was just talking about.
There's a lot to cover today, like a lot, as you could tell.
Yes. I'm covering as much of my body as I can with this. It's gonna get really hot. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm already sweating a little bit and regretting my choices, but we got a couple hours to go. It's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine.
Regretting anything. Well, would you like to talk to us? We've been looking at some outfit things here. Would you like to tell us about the pack clothing here and maybe point out some of your favorite pieces we can look at?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. As you can see here, we are trying to include clothing and accessories for all ages. Elders, adults, children, toddler, and of course more cats.
Look at that
for
cute little
infants.
outfit for the elders.
So for the clothing style we have for this pack, you will find
More
urban,
appropriate
casual,
elder
everyday
clothing.
wears
Yes.
and refined vintage style. The modern design with vintage aesthetic for early spring and summer clothing. And I think there's one of my favorite. If you go to the female top, there's a mohair cardigan with a corset underneath. Yeah, this one is one of my
I
favorite.
love that, and I
We
need somebody to
include
make.
the plaid and strap pattern.
I need someone
options
to change
with
the
some,
cardigan into
vintage
into
color
all
and
the Taylor Swift
pastel color. It's very spring
into all the
vibe.
Taylor Swift
That
cardigans.
which you can match with some other sets with other family members' clothing. Like if you go, yeah, this toddler. If you choose full body, oh yeah, this one you can match it together. Yeah, we include some pattern options that that families members' clothing they can coordinate on each other.
Cute.
And then here's the full body one you were talking about.
Yeah.
That's really cute. I love the idea of just kind of having matching family outfit.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite outfits?
Do I have any favorite outfits? I don't know if you can tell. I'm a fan of costumes, so I like the full body costumes. There's one for, is it for the infants that I'm thinking of? That is the, it's like the duck.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorites. I love the duck. I love being able to dress up your infants like little animals. I did that as a parent. I'm sure all parents do. I think you legally have to take a picture of your infant when it is at the age where you could put them in a bunch of these outfits and then share them with family.
For
The other
sure.
one that I also really enjoy is I think you have it on our elder right now, which is that headscarf.
Oh yeah, this one's great.
Which is super cute and like really versatile, and it's something that I feel like I'm gonna put on a lot of my
Look
Sims.
at the little liver
from here on out.
spots on the elders.
Yeah,
I love that.
and we used our new tech with this too. So if your hair color is different, it also updates with your hair color.
Nice.
So that's cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. I think Molly, didn't you have some favorite pieces too?
Yes, I did. So the child accessories that are like bead necklaces and the bead bracelet.
Oh my god.
All the swatches are so cute, and like the different beads that it puts on them for that one, like I love it, and I love the bracelet. Like they just remind me of being a kid and making little chunky bead bracelets for everybody in my house and like making them wear them.
Making friendship bracelets.
Yeah, those are amazing. Steph, did you have any favorites? And I think you were going to talk to us today about some of the hairs.
Yeah, for hair, for the Sims 4 Growing Together, we collaborated with Lacey Redway, a professional hairstylist, bringing her expertise to the Sims 4. We added a bunch of new braid styles that we hope are going to be improving our catalog, and we really hope that the players are going to enjoy. One of my favorites is the one with the top bun, the braid bun, the one with the really big bun on the...
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Gorgeous.
We really tried to improve our baby hair styling so it looks more natural and it blends more with the hair. We also... Oh, and then another favorite one was the... I think it's the short curly one. We have one that's a solid color, but my favorite is the one that's colored. So we kept the natural root color, and then the color options
like that.
are like just the curly tips. So that one was really fun to do. Yeah. And then we also have some more infant hairs that we're adding.
I think this
So we have some options for like different like textures. You have the curly, wavy, but then my favorite one is that I call it the pineapple hair bun. Yeah. You always have to do that to it when their hair is just long enough, and you're like, oh, I could put it in a ponytail now.
There's also hair for other age groups as well. That's something I really like about this pack is how many different options there are across the different age groups. I think I had her and her mom have matching hair because I thought that was really cute. Okay.
Yeah, I really like that kind of like from a create a sim perspective and kind of making sure that, you know, from the design side, we're looking at the entire lifetime of the sim, right? Really looking at all the age stages here, and create a sim kind of reinforcing that with getting those styles and those accessories and those hairs like across all those life stages as well.
So I forgot actually to introduce this family. This is the Lumberjackson family.
Sure.
Technically on the gallery, if you downloaded him, his name is Kurt Lumberjackson, but that was before he was a secret agent, and I renamed him to Ron Lumberjackson. So I'm aware you can't get me on that, but like his name is now Ron Lumberjackson.
Right,
just so
for safety reasons.
Yes, for safety reasons. And
I remember Ron actually. I think from the werewolves stream.
Ron's my favorite.
Yes. You probably just didn't introduce them because you're so familiar with Ron.
Yeah, and I think I've updated him to have, which we forgot to mention, some of our new skin details that come with
these
this
freckles.
pack.
These are really
so there's like and also some moles, which are amazing.
Yes.
He's got kind of a beard in the way there, but yeah, and there's also body freckles. You can kind of see it here. I think on his mom, she has some body freckles down here. A little risque. Yeah.
Just let Mama wear what Mama wants. Come on.
She's like, oh, my makeup's not done. Okay, so yeah, the Lumberjacksons. This is his wife Mira, and these are their kids. They also have a newborn, so we can show off some new pack-specific stuff for newborns. And then this is Mama Lumberjackson, Ron's mama. So she's also here with this family. And speaking of this, Molly, would you like to tell us a little bit about the family dynamics feature that we're adding with this pack?
Why, yes, I would like to tell you about it.
Oh, wait, I want to hear this.
So basically, you can set a family dynamic now between any two members of a family. It creates unique tones to each relationship, sort of. Oh, sorry. It creates unique tones to each relationship, so you can kind of influence the autonomous behavior between two Sims. And
That's
give
cute.
them unique buffs and interactions when interacting together. They can be gained either in cast or
I know you paused. Hold on, Nova. I know you paused earlier because you were hearing an echo. I'm not sure. We can't tell if it's going out across the stream. I hear an echo. I'm gonna blame Frost, so I'm just gonna give a moment to see if we need to mute someone, and then we can continue.
I don't hear an echo.
I think I see a mute icon where there wasn't one before. Okay,
cool.
Go for it.
Thank goodness, it's real hard to
it threw me off a little bit while I was talking, so I was like, oh my god,
I'm gonna grab drink while I talk about this.
Yeah, so you set it between any two members of the family. It creates sort of like a unique tone to the relationship. It mainly influences how those Sims autonomously interact with each other, but they also get unique buffs and interactions when they're together, depending on their dynamic. It can be gained in casts, as you can see here, or via natural gameplay adventure moments, or via the new keepsake box objects, which we'll see later. Once it's set in casts, they're mostly permanent, as you can also see here, but the new dynamics can still be discovered via adventure moments during gameplay, so they can change over time, depending on those two Sims' experience with each other. They can also be removed via a dynamic remover potion, which can be purchased from the reward store in-game. But some examples of how they impact autonomous behavior is, so you'll see between Mira and Ron, they have the jokesters dynamic. They'll autonomously run funny interactions with each other, or
That's
just kind of make each other laugh when they're nearby. They'll also get special playful buffs with each other, too. And distant Sims, if they were to have that dynamic, would mostly autonomously avoid each other while in the same house, unless you go out of your way to make them interact.
Oh, wow.
When they do, they'll get a pretty strong tense buff and feel kind of awkward being around their distant family member.
Oh.
One cool thing to note, too, is when the dynamic will also be present when a family member lives in another household. So let's say you have a mother and a daughter with a close dynamic. Once the daughter moves out, the mother might call more often, but if they had the distant dynamic, they'd really hardly ever reach out to one another.
Aww.
I like that. That's a lot of storytelling
I do
in
too.
that feature.
And being able to see that kind of once that, naturally, right, as kind of you grow up.
I hope we go right into the live mode after this little bit, because I am dying to see the new world. Who else?
Them out, and that kind of staying meaningful as a dynamic is really cool. I just wanted to clarify, the reason we don't see in right now you being able to set these is for the sake of this stream and setting up kind of like our household. They were set up earlier in Create a Sim. If we are coming in Create a Sim fresh, you would see the drop downs for family dynamic being accessible here. So just kind of once you have growing together, the first time you go into cast, you'll actually see that you can set these, as Nova was saying.
And we can see a little bit more about these in game later, but we're still not done in cast.
No.
There's so much
there's
more
so
in
much.
cast.
I was going to mention one other thing. I don't know if Nova mentioned it. One of the things that I like about dynamics is also if you have them set and you are playing as those Sims, you'll also see the kind of suggestions made in the social kind of options in the pie menu kind of change to reflect what the dynamic might be. And that's also, I feel like, a really in a subtle way that we're kind of tipping the scales and being like, this is the way these two Sims sort of like to interact with each other.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so we know about the preferences, the likes and dislikes category here. And music genre is one we've had before. You might have
Oh
heard
my gosh,
some
17 out of
music
50 now.
playing while you were waiting, and
That's
we've added
awesome.
soul music.
Great new tracks.
Love that.
So that's awesome. But we also have two new categories here with this pack: Sims characteristics and conversation topics. Do you want to take us through these as well, Nova?
Yes, you're not so easily rid of me. I'm still here. So yeah,
Excuse
these
me.
are the two main pillars of social compatibility, which is a feature coming with Growing Together. Sim characteristics, as you can see here, each category represents a grouping of Sims based on a certain archetype. The way it works is when your Sim likes one of these categories, they'll gain compatibility score with other Sims that fall into that category. When they dislike it, they'll lose compatibility score.
Ooh.
And when those two Sims meet, their compatibility will be calculated based on both Sims' preference, dislikes, and dislikes.
Oh, I love
which we'll
that.
see a little bit later in game. The compatibility is platonic in nature, so it can be between family members, and it's also available for child Sims and up. Those select few categories are only available for teens and olders, like related to romance, things like that.
Of course.
You might be asking how are Sims determined to be in each of these categories, like what makes a cerebral Sim or an egotistical Sim. There's three main things. One is traits, including those you set in CAS, and some aspiration reward traits.
Okay.
Likes and dislikes from the activities category, like piano or knitting, things like that. And the third is lifestyles from Snowy Escape. And when your Sim likes or dislikes that category, every Sim they meet is checked for those three main elements to see if they fall into that category.
Cute.
And you might have been able to tell from how I was explaining it, but there's tons of cross-pack compatibility here. You'll see the tooltips for each section describes the base game traits that tie into them, but almost every category has traits from across a ton of different packs that tie into them.
That's nice.
Pretty much every trait we've released so far is represented in at least one of these categories. So an example we can show is homebody Sims, which are Sims that kind of like to stay home and pursue more like calm and laid back endeavors. The base game ones that it mentions, like bookworm, clumsy, etc., are there, but it also includes socially awkward from high school years and laid back, which is an aspiration trait from Island Living. It includes some cross-pack activity preferences like baking from Get to Work or knitting from Nifty Knitting, and also includes the sedentary lifestyle from Snowy Escape. So if you're looking to add some challenge to your game when it comes to sim relationships, I'd highly recommend not just liking or disliking a few, but not being afraid to dislike a decent selection, boldly declare your Sims.
Oh my gosh, we got
and
new
ensure
child's
that your Sim has varied compatibility scores with a diverse number of Sims.
Got new child
like
stuff.
Kara here will definitely find a decent number of Sims that she does not get along with. So it'll create a little more challenge. And I will add that this is much easier to do because we've upped the like and dislike count to 50. And that's coming to today's game as well. So you'll be able to choose up to 50 likes and dislikes across all categories.
Yeah, nice.
I like this too because in general before, if you ever like argued with the Sim, they would be like, oh, I don't like that, but maybe they do now. Maybe
I think this is one of those things that when we were kind of looking at deepening our relationships, right, with Growing Together, really got to when you think about the way you interact with even your friends, and the way that you might like see somebody and be like, right, I feel like I'm gonna have a good connection with this person or a bad connection with this person, and taking it outside of the sort of the romantic realm, as Nova said, these are at their base platonic. There is this this kind of nice personality that we already have for all of our Sims, and being able to use that as a tool to kind of help determine these Sim characteristics and likes and dislikes. I think we did. The team did an incredible job in terms of trying to figure out what these characteristics could be, and doing that, as you heard from Nova, like deeping onto all of the ways that you already can set personality in your Sims.
And
yeah, and I was gonna say we'll get a chance to see how that looks in game a little later too.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. So let's look really quick here at conversation topics as well.
Yeah, so this is the second big pillar of social compatibility. Conversation topics are tied to the pie menu reorganization, which we'll see later. But essentially, each of these likes and dislikes represent whether or not your Sim would prefer other Sims to use those types of interactions on them as the recipient. For example, Kara dislikes affection. That means that if a Sim tried to go and perform an affection interaction on her, 99% of the time, she's going to decline it because she doesn't like affection. She does like complaints, however, though. So if a sim went up to her with a friendly complaint, like complaining about the rain, if you have seasons, then she would love that because she is all about the complaining. She's all down for a good kvetching session if you're having issues in your life. And so kind of what this does is it creates a much more complex social landscape throughout the game. So if you have sims that have a really diverse set of likes and dislikes across these categories, you really have to learn what each sim likes and dislikes when it comes to socializing. And because they won't accept interactions that are in categories they dislike, it's going to be really hard to get away with going up to Ron and presenting arguments. For example, he will especially dislike argument interactions. But if you go up to him and try to gossip, he's always wants the tea, so he will love that, and it'll be a lot easier to gain relationship with him.
Potty humor.
Similar to sim characteristics, I would definitely recommend choosing a diverse variety of these, and it'll really present a nice challenge when it comes to making new friends.
Yeah, I'm excited to try these out.
Definitely. So we'll look more at that in game as well. But wait, we're not done in Cass.
Are we not? My. What more could we look at in here? What more could there be, Morgan?
Well, with the aspirations, we actually added from, like, for the first time since base game, 4 new aspirations for children. These were the 4 that came with base game.
Yes.
And then
now under multi-skill,
Okay.
we have 4 entirely new child aspirations. Incredible. This is the thing that I really like here is that if you've played kids a lot in The Sims 4, you've probably played with the 4 aspirations that we've had in the base game. And being able to double the number of aspirations that you can choose, I think really gives that variety for how children can feel in terms of what their goals might be for that age stage. And the other thing that I think is really cool about these is our base game aspirations were really about focusing on a particular child's skill. And these new ones have a kind of mix of interactions and things to do with new features and objects in growing together, but also are trying to really, as you can see, they're named multi-skill, right? To have the child be a little bit more diverse in terms of their skill building, which I think opens up those storytelling possibilities for what kind of kid you're kind of making and what they're doing.
Definitely. Okay, well, let's hop in game. This was a lot in Cass.
Yeah.
So
that was a lot in Cass.
I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
There's just a lot to show there. And I think the other thing that we hopefully have set the stage well for is being able to then see how some of these choices that you might make in Create a Sim are going to translate in game. One of the things, I'm going to go a little bit high level design again. One of the things that I think we really wanted to do with this pack was to empower players that really want to set up a story, right? And in Create a Sim, being able to really dig deep into those family dynamics, into those personalities, into those characteristics,
I'm really excited,
into the
but I'm
conversation
sad
topics,
that there's not
and
too
really
many
set up
lots.
your household how you want them to behave to each other and to the world. But we also wanted, if you were the kind of player that were going into Cass and maybe didn't have that full story in your head, or maybe you're just like, I don't want to spend a ton of time setting that up because I'm not sure who these Sims are yet, right? That what we'll see reflected is we have ways in gameplay to have those emerge and have your Sims evolve, and I think that's something that's also really cool about this pack. I know you've been on this. You want to show off the world.
Ooh,
I know
that's
people are
easier.
excited about this world. Let's talk about that before we dive into live mode properly.
I like what you had to say, Scott.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So this is San Sequoia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of loosely inspired by San Francisco, which is where we're at.
Yeah.
So my bear head fell off. There,
Important,
I fixed
and
it.
yeah, we gotta keep the.
We have 3 neighborhoods here at the Anchor Point Wharf, which we'll be visiting later, and learning more about it. Gilbert Gardens and Hopewell Hills, and yeah, we'll be looking at all 3 of these neighborhoods. I'd like to do a quick shout out to G-Jack, Delagracy, and Little Simsy, who built lots for us here.
Oh,
That's
cool.
right. We built our lots that you can see some of them here. We'll be visiting a few of them as well.
We're not loading them. We're loading into Lumberjackson family today. So here we go.
Yeah. And I really like one thing. I will see each of the kind of neighborhoods in a little more depth, but you can see from the kind of world map as well. I like the obviously where we have a personal attachment to kind of the inspiration of the San Francisco suburbs and neighborhoods. But one of the things that I really like about the Bay Area, about San Francisco, is that the kind of suburbs and neighborhoods of San Francisco each have their own little feel, and I think that's something that we reflected well in San Sequoia, which is that if you visit each of these kind of neighborhoods within this world, they have a slightly different feel, even though they're all part of the same area, right? I think that's clear from the wonderful work our environment team has done. But I really like that there's a slightly different vibe in each of the neighborhoods.
Definitely, I agree with that. Rach, would you like to give us some background on Hope Hill? Yeah, that's the right one.
Hopewell Hills, right? Yeah, Hopewell Hills.
This is Hopewell Hills. Yes. Hi, hello. So, yeah, as you had mentioned, when we were kind of thinking about San Sequoia, we wanted to be inspired by the Bay Area. And what I love about the Bay Area is that we've got these different types of neighborhoods. And Hopewell Hills is basically sleepy suburbs, if that's the kind of dynamic you're looking for. So as you can see, it's really just lots of nicely spaced out houses here. And you're probably thinking, okay, San Sequoia, I see a lot of trees here. I'm not seeing any sequoias. What's that about? Well, there's some lore there that you can get into. I'll mention that a little bit later too, but I wanted to just call attention over here to Old Stumpy, the remnants of our sequoias. And I feel like I think maybe Sim Gurudoi has something he may need to account for here when we talk about the sequoias.
Okay. I knew this was coming. Let's clear the air. Let's do this. You know what? Let's do this publicly, okay? Because I've had enough of the design team. So, okay, maybe you remember. I don't know if you do. I was also lead designer on the Sims 4 Werewolves game pack. The Werewolves game pack came with a beautiful world, named Moonwood Mill. And when we decided on the name of that world, Moonwood Mill, there were members of the design team that were like, Scott, there is no mill here. Why would we name this world Moonwood Mill? And I was like, I like the alliteration. I think it's, and there could have been a mill here. Why don't we construct a world that, like, we were talking about it being like an old logging town. There probably was a mill here. Why are you so obsessed with there being a mill right now in Moonwood Mill? Wait, I even wrote a loading string that said there used to be a mill in Moonwood Mill to make sure that everyone was clear on that. And then lo and behold, with Growing Together, we were thinking of wonderful names for our wonderful world, and San Sequoia came up. And I feel like maybe some of the same designers on the design team were like, Scott, are we really going to ship another pack with you as lead designer where we have named a world where you are clearly calling out something, an object that is not going to exist in this world? And, these worlds were designed by members of the design team. I was not the only one who helped decide what was going to go in these worlds. Rach did a wonderful job helping to design this world with the environment team. But also, there used to be sequoias in San Sequoia, and why not give these worlds a sense of history instead of insisting that they always need to have literally what is in the world name right now in the world?
You can tell the design team's giving them a pretty
It is. You know what? It is, the next pack that I'm on the lead designer for, the world name is there's going to be a ton of whatever. We're going to name it something that's going to be like Chair Village, and we'll just have a bunch of chairs and everyone will be happy. But I love San Sequoia. I think
it's out.
Yeah, it's true. Like in Latin, is that right? Is like sans. Anyway.
Thank you so much.
Don't
Mr.
think about
Doi.
it too much.
We're gonna go back to Rach. We're gonna go back to Rach.
I'm just,
Such a spirited defense of deforestation. I really appreciate it.
I have a mind to leave the stream right now.
I'm going to talk about the rest of the neighborhood, though. I promise.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, give me a moment.
There's this lovely little pond where you can do a little bit of fishing if you like, and this is one of my favorite things about this neighborhood. That little parklet area where you can see the pirate ship built out. It's so creative. I love it so much. And you can see there's a little statue there of Bayani Robles. He is, again, a little piece of lore you're going to learn about more there, but he's one of the original founding guys of this area. If you're into frogs, there may be some frogs here. That's what that icon is all about. And then I just wanted to zoom out and show the beautiful marina area, because I know there's something special for Morgan here, too, that we should get into.
I like that they made it so that you can walk out here. So you can actually walk out onto it. And like I took some family pictures out here, which I thought was pretty cool.
Nice.
And
Get a nice view of the bridge,
yeah,
boats.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. The last thing I wanted to call attention to in this area is that the Michelson family lives here, along with the Luna Sullivan family. But the Michelson family, of course, you will recognize them from our trailer. And I wanted to just mention, I saw a lot of players talking about names for this, and there was some definite thought going into those names, and you can learn more about it if you dig into that. But yeah, Michelsons are here, Luna Sullivan's here, and there is another little starter home that I know you're going to get into in a minute. But that is Hopewell Hills for you.
Yep. There's also this empty lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, this was actually a starter home built by Lil Simsy.
Nice.
But we have upgraded it to be super fancy.
You've improved it, Morgan.
I've improved
You've
it.
improved it.
Oh
Or
my.
I mean, if little Simsy is here, Morgan has ruined it. I can't believe she would do this to your lot. To help show off some of the stuff, some of the cool stuff in growing together.
Yeah, because it looks really, like it's great before. So the thing I love about this starter that she built is that it has 4 bedrooms already. Starting off, you start off with all 4 bedrooms that they have here. So you need, I think, 2 or 3 Sims you can move in as a starter home, but it lets you start off with an infant and just move in. It's
very cool, yeah. And also
it's
very
great.
impressive if you've ever tried to build a starter with the kind of limitations of budget and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
being able to bring that family right in, a very, very welcoming home.
But we've definitely decorated it here to sort of be a little bit more lived in and show off all of our cool build buy assets that we have. So you can check some of them out here in this house. Yeah, before we really hop into gameplay, while it's still fresh in our minds, we've been talking about compatibility.
Yeah.
While we were in build buy. So I'm thinking maybe we could show that off in game a little bit really
Yeah,
quick
if you pop
here.
open the rel panel, I think that's the easiest way to kind of get a first look at that.
And I think you could sort by a lot of things here, including family. So we can look at our family here now.
And so you can see that there's a new icon that wasn't there before. If this is, you have Ron selected, right? For Myra, Mama, and Kara. There's that little icon in the top corner that represents compatibility. We're going to have Nova kind of walk us through what some of this might mean, or other places where you might be able to see it.
Yeah, so you can see each icon in the rel panel, or each person in the rel sim in the rel panel has an icon. In the top right, no icon indicates neutral compatibility, but puzzles fitting together mean that they either have good or amazing compatibility, whereas the puzzles floating apart and not clicking means they either have bad or awful compatibility. You can check the details by hovering or checking the sim profile. And like I mentioned before, each of these compatibilities is calculated based on the sim characteristic preferences both sims have chosen, but also checking the other sims' traits, likes and dislikes, and lifestyles versus those preferences. And when sims have good or amazing compatibility, they will be able to become friends much easier. They'll gain much more relationship when interacting with each other, and it'll just feel a little bit more natural for them to click. When they have bad or awful compatibility, you'll find it much more of a challenge to have them become friends. They'll gain relationship a lot slower. Maybe they'll be less willing to accept kind of the friendly sort of interactions that the other sim presents to them. It'll just be all around a little bit more of a challenge. And also if you wanted to show the pie menu really quick, Morgan, too, we can see the new pie menu reorganization that was part of the other aspect of compatibility for conversation topic preferences. You can see here each of the new categories maps to one of the likes and dislikes for conversation topics that we had for each sim. And the important interactions like divorce or breakup or things like that are left uncategorized, so it's a little easier for you to find. Like you can see become best friends is left uncategorized. We don't want a sim to decline that because it's in a category they dislike, and we also want to make sure it's easy for you guys to find. Nearly all past interactions added have been subcategorized, so you should find it a little bit easier now to navigate, especially the friendly menu, which I know could get a little cluttered before with all the new interactions we've added. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love this. Now that it's been in game, it's really, really nice to have.
Yeah, we had a lot of social interactions, didn't we, Morgan? And so I think there's a little bit of a learning curve because previously you would just kind of like maybe memorize where it was alphabetically and then be like, next, it's this one. But being able to find them under these subcategories, I think once you get past that learning curve is so helpful. And I really love how they match up with the conversation topic preferences. So you get a hint also of if they like or dislike a conversation topic, the social options underneath that might be easier or harder for you to do with that sim.
I'm showing off some of our new interactions that we have across different ages. And also I think we updated how ages work. Do you want to talk a little bit about that as well, Nova?
Sure. As part of this pack, we've tried to kind of change the experience of having Sims of different age groups interacting with each other. We've tackled this in a couple different ways. One of the main ways is through new cross-age interactions. So we've added a host of new interactions available for Sims of one age to interact with Sims of another age. You can see Mama Lumberjackson is there. A ton of them are new elder interactions. They can reminisce on the old days. We also have Aren't You the Sweetest Little Thing, and they can also, a fun cross-pack bit here, give life lessons under Deep Thoughts. If you have Parenthood installed, performing this interaction will raise corresponding character values based on the life lesson given. So like responsibility, manners, etc. A little bit of Parenthood tie-in there. We have quite a few new child interactions to perform on toddlers. So they can claim the other sim, or on toddlers, children, or teens actually. So they can claim the other sim as an alien. Oh, and we see a pop-up too for family dynamics. This is how it looks when your sims have been interacting in a certain way, and the family dynamic could potentially change. So it's funny that popped up.
Yeah, we'll see if we see more of these pop-ups. One of the things that, like, again, this is really cool. What we wanted to do was we wanted to, as I talked about in Create a Sim, make it so that you could set up everything you wanted to, right, in Create a Sim, but also at the same time that the game would respond to how you're playing it. That if you don't have dynamics set, or even if you do, that there's a chance of them changing depending on how you are playing with these Sims to kind of evolve your Sims into the relationship that the game kind of sees in terms of your playstyle and your play patterns.
Yeah, and it feels really natural too as you have those Sims interact with each other. But yeah, and toddlers have a bunch of new interactions, like the kick you saw in the trailer. And for most ages, we've added a new family kiss, which you also saw in the trailer too. It's a new, super sweet way to show affection within your family. But kind of the second
Very
part.
mean.
The second part, sort of beneath the surface of everything, we've brought a big change to the base game that will essentially make the interactions of the experience of interacting with two Sims of different ages completely different based on the age combos.
Yay!
We've changed the relationship gain and loss multipliers for every combination of Sims interacting. So some Sims will find it harder to gain in a relationship when interacting with other Sims of other ages due to differences, and some ages will find it easier to gain relationship with other ages. So,
I love that.
And this also goes for losing relationship too. So one example of this for children, they gain relationships with, and we'll have a Kyle pop up. We'll talk about that in a second, but children will gain relationships much faster with other children because they just get each other, but they'll struggle to gain relationship quite as fast when interacting with a teen because the teen will take them a little less seriously.
Right.
So none of those changes are super drastic, but they're definitely noticeable enough to add additional challenge when building cross-age relationships in your game. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, one of the things that I always, like, when I think about real life, right, is like kids become friends so quickly. I'm kind of jealous of them because as an adult, I think it actually is harder to build that friendship.
Sure.
But like that combined with the fact that you can have these cross-age differences of like, kids being able to build up that friendship quickly, but with other ages maybe being less so, and that being something that kind of underlies all of our more complex social changes with growing together. That was in base game, right? Like that age kind of those age multipliers are going out to everyone. And laying on top of all the cool stuff that we've done with Growing Together, like, I think really makes me excited about the fact that the social landscape is so much deeper with Growing Together, and it's really, really cool to be able to really add that to the game. So what's this? There's so much going on in this pack, right? That we have to like we have to wait to catch up. We have to like finish explaining the thing we were talking about. What's going on here, Morgan?
So we got a phone call from our boy Kyle.
Do we know Kyle?
I don't think we know Kyle.
Okay.
Kyle.
Okay.
So Kyle is like, wait, you don't remember me? Dude, you're so funny. Seriously, never change. Maybe you should read it. You always read these really good.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't quite know who Kyle is,
We don't.
but it sounds like he might be the kind of person who's like, hey, bro, it's me, your boy Kyle. Listen, I'm coming over to your place to chill for a few days, just like old times. Doesn't that sound sick? He's like, wait, what? You don't remember me? Dude, you're so funny. Seriously, never change. Hope you have some juice ready. It's gonna be lit. I think we should have Kyle over.
Sure, why not?
Let's
Let's have Kyle over.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Oh,
we got a milestone too.
we got a milestone. What did we
Let's
do?
talk about Kyle first. No, you want to talk about milestones? All right.
We talk about those later.
Okay, no. We're saving milestones.
Let's
Okay.
talk about
Okay.
who this? This is Kyle.
This is Kyle. What?
Kyle's actually good looking.
Look at his suitcase. That's the real dreamboat.
That's
here.
the yes. Okay, sorry. I was looking at Kyle. You were looking at the suitcase. He's bringing a really cool suitcase in here.
Yeah, into our house, into our home.
He's putting it there.
Okay. Well, we're gonna rummage through it.
Oh, well, okay. I don't know about that.
Hey, what are you?
So I actually know what Kyle's doing here. Kyle is part of our new temporary stays system that we are. You're just gonna open it like rude. These suitcases are really cool. Sorry, what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the suitcases? The suitcases are really cool. Our temporary stays will bring them over. They're also available in the catalog as well. You can just kind of put them down, and they work kind of like a dresser, right? So you can do anything you want to that you could do from a dresser out of these suitcases, but they're a little more mobile. They're a little more fun. You can take them places. And Kyle brought his because he's staying for a bit. He is actually not just for a few hours, not just for a night. He's going to be here for a while. And that's something that our new temporary stay system allows. And one of the cool things I think about our temporary stay system is that we have Kyle coming over as a temporary stay that was sort of an opportunity from the game that presented itself, right? Kyle was like, hey, I'm your boy. I'm coming over. And you can be like, yeah, sure. Or I think the other option was like, I don't know you, man. I don't know who you are. But there are a variety of different kind of different. This is what I was talking about when I was. Oh, he's spilling some secrets. Do you want me to read this? I don't know what you want me to read. What to talk about? No, it's okay.
I still want to pause.
Yeah, no, you just want to spend time with Kyle. Is that they're gonna? This is what I was talking about when I was talking about kind of like these story opportunities, right? These little kind of like the story prompts.
Oh, look at the rocket
is
in the
that
back.
we have temporary stays that will show up and be like, hey, is this something that you want to add to your Sim story? Whether it's Kyle visiting, whether it's kind of extended family coming to stay over. I think family friends, there's one where they suggest that they come over because they're maybe going through a tough time and they need someplace to stay. An old friend that's crashing. I think there's like another one that's like a long lost family member.
That's fun.
That is trying to reconnect. But all of these have chances of kind of popping up and saying, hey, do you want to invite this temporary stay over to your home? You can see from the calendar that Kyle's going to be here for 6 days? And he's going to hang out, and he's going to, be a kind of a true member of your household during that time. He's going to I think each of the different temporary stays maybe has a little bit of special behavior. You may
can
see
actually
Kyle.
ask him to help out, or you can ask him to relax. I asked him to help out because I want him to help out.
So he's going to maybe help with the kids, clean up, stuff like that.
If you're going to stay here, we got a lot of kids.
Yeah. You got to help out.
We have a lot of kids here.
We have a big family. Thanks for coming over. Really kind of contribute, please, Kyle. But the other thing, you had the calendar open. If you pop that back open, and can't do it now because I think Kyle is here. But you can, and I don't want you to make him leave. I want him to stay. But you can also, through the calendar, initiate a temporary stay yourself. So if you're like, hey, we just had another baby. I'm doing a challenge. I'm having a lot of babies.
Her dad actually lives in another lot.
Okay.
And if Kyle hadn't shown up, I was going to have later on her call her dad and ask her dad to come stay and help out with the kids.
Yeah. And so that's something where you can initiate
like
that as well.
that.
You can select a kind of like length of stay. I think it's something from like 1 to 6 days, and kind of start off that story yourself. So again, sort of like another kind of reflection of the goal in this pack, which was to give players the agency to kind of start these moments of drama themselves, or have them invited into moments of drama through like Kyle showing up and being like, you know what if I just crash for a little bit?
And we've had this in a few packs where there's like a special gossip interaction on like the townies that live there, and Kyle's got some delightful ones. So I'm gonna have you read these again in your surfer voice here.
So this is you were asking Kyle.
I asked him about what's going on in San Francisco, man.
I don't know, man. It's just been a week, you know. Just you ever see something you just can't unsee or get out of your head? Last week, I set my llama berry power sip on a bench while I was doing push-ups at the park, and a squirrel came by and like knocked it over. Full can, total waste. I'm clawing my way back to normalcy, man, but it's a long road. He loves his power sip. I think like I was saying, like some of them have some special things they might do while they're there, and I think you might see Kyle drinking some power sip or leaving some cans around if you have him over.
Yeah, so we'll see how Kyle does. He's already taking care of our baby
out.
here, helping out. Let's see, something I was going to show off before Kyle showed up was, by the way, I would like to point out our toddler has been sitting here this whole time.
Oh, in the high chair.
In the high chair.
Just chilling. Not needing to be taken out.
Not needing to be taken out.
Dirty diaper on the floor,
I'm really happy that we are able to kind of get that quality of life improvement for the high chair and get some of those annoyances that might be happening right now to
I'm thinking maybe let's look at the newborn stuff first.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, because we do have a newborn in this household as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we showed off some of the newborn stuff that is coming to base game. One of the cool things you might notice, looking at our newborn and what they're wearing right now, is that you also have the ability to change their outfit. We have a bunch of new outfits.
Thank goodness.
Which are really, really cool.
My favorite is sophisticated.
Sophisticated.
So,
is that because of the name?
Because actually, it looks like a crab outfit to me. I don't see the fish, but I like the name. Yes.
Yeah, sophisticated. It does sound better than so crab-ticated.
Yeah, that doesn't make.
But that's
much
really
sense.
cute. You have a bunch of new outfits that you can put on your newborns.
Yes. And you saw there is the kiss interaction. So
yeah, and I think that's available from a variety of ages. As kind of Nova talked about, we wanted to, when we're looking at family interactions, one of the things we really wanted to do is make it so that a bunch of our ages, especially our younger ages, could interact where they could, right? Sometimes they're physically just like too small to do something, but where we could, we wanted to add the ability to kind of like show affection to your family members.
Yeah.
And then one of the things, this will be a pattern that you'll see as we go up the ages as well, but we added a few different...
I think I accidentally had this off on accident, but I'd love to see some autonomy here,
Okay.
so I'm going to turn it
Sure.
on.
Some of the, some temperaments to our newborns, so that every newborn will not be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Some will be a little bit maybe needier, some will be a little bit easier to care for. And that's something that, again, you'll see a pattern. That was a goal, right? To really inject some of those younger Sims with a sense of personality and an additional sort of individuality as you have different kids to really see them shine as their own kind of being.
Speaking of personality and individuality, we just discovered something on our infant, and I think we're about ready to discover something also on our toddler here
Whoa,
at the
okay.
same time.
Yes.
So let's talk about
You want to talk about quirks?
toddler and infant quirks.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's talk about quirks. So quirks are a new kind of like, as the name might suggest, little quirks of personality that you might discover on our younger Sims. You can see that. So right now.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna be honest. It's getting hard for me to keep watching this. I have ADHD and autism, so just sitting here and watching and not saying anything is a little hard. I think what I'm gonna do is take like a few minute break, and then we're gonna get into Genshin. I'm gonna get the game set up so we can get into it. Because I really want to play. I have my controller set up. I've been watching this live stream for like almost 2 hours. I'd much rather be playing Genshin right now. So, basically, the gist of it all, this is gonna be an awesome game pack, expansion pack, excuse me. I plan on getting it as soon as it comes out. Let me just check, see what calendar day it comes out. Awesome. Yes, I definitely plan on getting it that week, because even if I don't get it on the 6th, well, we'll see. Because our next paycheck, my husband's paycheck, is going to be a little rough next week. But I have to get this game pack as soon as it comes out, this expansion pack. So I will be right back. I will see you guys in a jiff. And yeah, stay cool. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in probably 10 minutes. So